We're back after all these commercials.
Okay, we've talked about users.
Yeah, damn users.
Any time I release software for anyone else to use, I mean, I want people to use it. It's I don't hate users at all. I think anybody who releases stuff wants other people to use it. It's as challenging to write good documentation as it is to write code easily.
Totally.
It's a skill, and just because you're good at programming doesn't mean you're good at documentation. Often you're not. I'm not. I find it very difficult.
Yeah. But it is like I have some like experience with visual programming, so I tried. I installed Fujio, and it felt like natural to me as a visual programmer. Did you and I know that there's a split between visual programmers and text coders. How and someone like you is basically writing visual programming in text, everything is written in text. How do you see the visual programming as some kind of just the interface, or how is it embedded in the
So the reason why I'm doing this, there are many reasons why I'm doing this software. One of them is because even though I would always choose to write software in text kind of mode, I've written the same bits of code over and over and over and over again. And all of these pieces of art that I've been making, I think, well, okay, so I've got to load a video here, and I've got to open a window here, and I've got to load a shader here, and I've got to, link these together. And it's the same code. It's the same code that does that. Not the art bit. The art bit is often the 10% that sits on top of the video loading code, which is the same for every project, or mostly the same. And just from my own, I mean, I could make a library of code and Open Frameworks is like a good example of that. But I still think I came up with this idea of making this into a visual thing because that's how I think about it. What you're seeing is how I think about code. Because I think, I just need a video player there, and I'll link that to a shader there, and I'll do that. I know how to write all the code, but actually I'm thinking about it in a very visual way, and I'm thinking about the linkages between the way these things work. So if I can translate it to that form, and I can write these little nodes that do this functionality, and I can give it to someone else who doesn't know how to write the code, that means that I've just basically, they now can just use them and not have to worry about the code, and that to me seems like a really powerful way of sharing I mean, I always say I think that good programmers, people who like programming, should make much better tools for people who don't program or don't want to program. If we're so good at programming, that should be our goal. To help everyone. I hate the idea that just because if you don't know programming, then you don't get access to all the latest technology. That we're going to leave a whole bunch of people behind, and it's not democratic. I don't like that approach. So I think the emphasis should be on programmers making better tools, and there was the whole thing about the I was going to sell it. I was going to sell the software. I put a lot of time in, and I was going to sell it. There's all these other systems that sell it, and they get their users involved, and I thought for many months about this. I had a chat with Mitch Altman about, and he was just like, open source it. I was like, I wasn't ready to hear it. I was just like, no, I don't want to. And it was like, open source it, and then it just stayed in my head for months, and eventually I decided to do it because I don't want to run a software company. I don't want to tie users in. I don't want to trap people. I don't want to treat people like customers. I want to have conversations. Like this, and sort of to share. And I want more art. I want more. It's
But aren't you, even as an open source entity, aren't you a software company?
no.
What distinguishes you from, because you write the code, you make your own coffee, like you do everything a software company does except have these stupid dongles and all this copy protection blobs and
Well, if you know, if you find a bug in the code, it's not too hard. you email me, you go, oh, there's a bug in the code. Like, oh, well, you fix it. I'm on holiday. I'm like, oh. You know, it's not about, but it's not. I mean, that's just an aspect. It's not, you know, crappy user support. That's not the point. The point is that you have, it's that if you're going to use this software or any other open source software, you can have the option to fix it. You can have the option to improve it and extend it, and you're not in this just subservient role where you're just being like, you know, like a little baby bird and just going like, you know, feed me, I'm hungry, and you know, it's a responsibility to a wider community that we're not just, you know, if one thing about the whole maker culture and the open source culture is anything to go by, is that it's empowering, but that means that you also have a responsibility, and that's not just to, you know, have some like company that's just going to like feed you. You know, you ask for things, little scraps, and they feed you. It's like, no, it's time to get involved. You know.
Yesterday I was doing KiCad editing. It's like a PCB, a circuit board, like a software, and I was looking for curved traces. I wanted to have curved traces. So you look on the internet, curved traces, KiCad, and I get to this like issue on the Git. You know, this guy, oh, your software sucks. There's no curved traces. Da da da. And the guy, you know, one of the developers, just made it into a no fix. And the guy, why does you write no fix? Like, he says, I don't fix. I'm not gonna fix your problem because I don't like you.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, that's part of it. You know, I mean, software these days tends to be written by teams, companies. You know, like you know, Photoshop. It's got God knows how many thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I'm like, you know, the one guy in the, you know, writing this thing. I can't deal with the world's problems and the world's wants and issues, and you know, I don't think it's a feasible way of doing it, and it would drive me mad. And actually, the whole point of doing this software for myself is that I want to make art. I don't want to be a software company. I want to make art. I'm an artist. So if I push all this stuff out in a sort of honest and sort of respectful kind of way, you now have these and you can take it forward. What you do with it, that's up to you. But it's you know, I'm doing my thing.
Did you look, like, we're gonna get a bit nerdy here, but did you look at other licenses? Could you see a license that is both open and also retain some control, or even allow you to make money out of it? Or
I looked at all the licenses. I looked at lots of different models, not just open source. You know, and I mean, you look at a lot of the software that's because visual programming is obviously not a new thing. This has been around for a long time, and there's a lot of different software packages out there which go from completely open source to half open source, you know, semi-proprietary kind of thing, to completely closed source. You know. There isn't a sort of, I mean, there's like pure data and things like this, but there isn't anything that's really aimed at cutting edge digital art, which is completely open source and has no commercial attachment. You know. Because you know, it comes down to what I find, you know, what I feel is most important, and that's the art. It's, you know, and that's the thing that drives all of it. So I think, you know, I mean, if somebody steals the whole thing and starts selling it in, you know, Mongolia or something, I mean, you know, I can't sue them. I haven't got the money to do it. So but it's not important. It's, you know, it's I'm pushing it in a different direction, and I get paid for my art, and that's what I want to do. I get paid for doing commissions and projects and
where are you now? Like in your programming phase, you have the groundwork, You know how the input outputs work, like your basic, how do you call it, a block? How do you call it?
The node.
The nodes.
Yeah.
So you know how your nodes work, and now you're starting to extend, right? You're starting to branch out. And how do you decide where do you branch out?
Everything is designed in this very modular way. So if you say you want Oculus Rift support, that's a completely separate plugin. You don't need it. You can just take it away, or. So I've made it so modular that if I get some new piece of technology, I can just sit and write a plugin, and then that's supported. But it's if I was just doing it from the point of view of like, oh, here's a bit of tech and write a plugin, and I just spend all my time doing that. It's driven by the artworks that I make. So we did an Oculus Rift artwork, so I did write the plugin that got it working, and then that'll be released, I think, early next year. So I'm on a sort of episodic release schedule.
So you basically have you compile for your own, and then you release when you feel it's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, there's about 200. I can't remember. It's nearly 200 nodes that I've released, and there's still another 100 which I haven't released.
Wow.
Which are in various stages of development. I mean, I've been working on this for 2.5 years now.
So just technical, you work on GitHub, right?
Yep.
So how does it work? You can have semi-private repository?
I have my own private server for the unreleased stuff.
Off GitHub?
Yep. And then once I think the thing's ready, I'll copy it over to GitHub and do a formal public release.
So you have basically 2 Git repositories, and you do like this juggling between them.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of simple because it's only a one-way thing. It's just and I mean eventually everything will be in GitHub, apart from a few nodes which are my own proprietary stuff I use for running my artwork. But that's the point, is you can mix the public and the proprietary, and other people can do that too. So it's I think you need that flexibility.
That's interesting. So basically your artwork doesn't have a license because it's private.
As I say, the artwork tends to be the bit at the top. It's the highest level bit, and the 90% of the video loading and all the rest of it that's not proprietary. That's public.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So just because you've got those tools, it doesn't mean that. I mean, if you want to copy my artwork, then that's not the point. But yeah, so you've got most of the tools that you need to make 90% of my art, and then I've got my little 10% privately.
Nice.
If you want that, it's going to cost you a whole bunch of money.
Oh, totally. That's cool. Maybe we'll just have a small tour of the Fujio.
Yeah,
we can do it.
yeah.
How's your trip so far, by the way?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, we've been there for about a week, and obviously the weather's been pretty good apart from.
Apart from now, yeah.
No, it's been good. Yeah, just really, everyone's been very friendly, welcoming, and it's been great.
We're here to serve.
אוקיי. הרעיון הראשון של יאיר.
Yeah, my first interview.
Very good.